Sounds good. Catch a little theater this weekend. Right on. 7:04 though. Judicata is back as we inch towards the new normal. Well, I think we're already here, right? With all pretty much, all the mandates lifted. It signifies the return of 5Ks, and the judiciary of Guam has always got a great one. I know I've hosted a few of them. It's the Judicata 5K, which is going down next Saturday at the judiciary of Guam. And so we do have in our KUAM News Zoom room David Well from the judiciary and Valerie Regis from Lighthouse Recovery. Now, Lighthouse Recovery is going to be the beneficiary of the money that they raise for the Judicata 5K. It's the 14th annual race. They're calling it the Carabao Run, Walk, and Roll. So, David and Val, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's get all the details out there.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris, and thank you for having us. David Welly here, representing the EFIC. This event will be hosted by EFIC and the Guam Bar. Like you mentioned, it's the 14th annual Race Judicata 5K. It'll be on Saturday, May 14th, 5 a.m. show time, 6 a.m. start time. This is one of many of the Law Month events. And you mentioned as well that the Lighthouse Recovery Center will be a beneficiary of the event. And really the purpose of our 5K is to continue our community outreach, promote fun and fitness, and help raise funds for our local nonprofits. It's been something going on since 2007. It's going to be fun. Please come out and support and join the race. It'll be the first in person since 2019. So we're really looking forward to it and invite everyone to go on to guamtime.net to register, or go to Hornet Sports to register there as well. It's $15 per person, $20 on the race day, and $5 off of every purchase of 4 or more bibs. That's pretty much all the good details.
Thank you, David. Val, I want to shout out the boys at Lighthouse Recovery, because I know they're all listening and watching the show, whether on the radio or on the Facebook live stream, right? Good morning, guys. Lighthouse. Got to do the wave.
They're all screaming outside. Yes.
So, Val, I mean, as we're now pretty much in this new version of the normal, right? And this is a great opportunity for you guys to get some, I'm pretty sure, much needed assistance. So just as the beneficiary, how will this help some of the programs that you guys have at Lighthouse Recovery Center?
Well, we never stopped servicing those who struggle with substance use during the pandemic. And as a matter of fact, we're expecting we just saw the tip of the iceberg. We're expecting an influx of folks now that we're, the judiciary is seeing cases. They continued, but people are now being heard for, certain crimes. And so we're expecting an influx. And with this help of the 5K, we're going to continue to use it towards helping the wonderful men that we get to serve get IDs and birth certificates. And some of them need school for driving. So we'll use that. It'll go 100% towards client morale and client care. So
Val,
there's a lot of things that we need to help help these guys.
Right. And then, for a lot of people, they just don't get birth certificate. What? Driver's ID, but that is so crucial. Like, I've interviewed guys who are living on the street. I mean, women who are living on the street, and a big part of why they can't get off the street is because they don't exist. They don't have a birth certificate, social security card, ID card, and if you don't have those things, you don't exist to the government. And so it's huge. Like, I know a guy who just couldn't get out because in order to apply for a job, you need ID, right? I mean, you need ID to do everything. So if you could just kind of speak to how important that is.
So, and many times we have to work with the individuals pretty much at that level. They have no social security card. They need an ID to get the social security card. They have to get their birth certificate. And sometimes we're able to work with public health, but it's almost a catch-22 in every step that they work towards getting normalcy back. And unfortunately, there's a lot of folks, even men, who come into treatment who, come from a bad relationship, and the IDs and all the documents were purposely destroyed. So they really have to start from scratch. And so for us here at the Lighthouse, we work with every one of the clients and we ask them, where would you like us to help you go? And so we just kind of guide with them. And a lot of times it's just the basic, Chris, an ID.
Yeah.
You have no idea how valuable and beautiful it is to see when these guys get their ID and they come into my office and they're like, Miss Val, I have an ID, and I'm like, oh my God. And they're one click short of tears because when they get an ID, one, they're now recognized in the government, and two, they have some purpose that they can work.
Thank you, Val. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's give him a big hand. David.
All right, to the Lighthouse boys.
Biba. Val, I want to get you on maybe in the next couple weeks. We can kind of go more into this conversation on addiction and recovery and the services that you guys have.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Absolutely. We can even invite Miss Athena Duenas from Guam Behavioral Health and get the other providers on and kind of get a full holistic picture of just how it's a lot of people say, why can't they just stop and then put them at the Lighthouse and get them better? And it's there are many more layers to that. We have to address a lot of trauma. We have to address grief, disappointment, guilt, and shame. That's a number one. A person who's been struggling with drugs, there's a lot of guilt and shame because one, they feel guilty about disappointing not just themselves, but their family. And then shame because, I don't think any young boy or girl says, when I grow up, I want to be a drug addict and I want to go to jail and I want to be put in the front newspaper and shamed. Nobody does that. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in those arena areas that we have to kind of work with the clients.
Yeah,
definitely. It's a beautiful place to work with drug and alcohol. You're never bored. I promise you that. Never bored.
I'm sure. Val, like I said, it sounds like we got to have a whole other discussion. David, thanks for coming on. Guys, we got the graphic up with all the sign-up information. If it's going slow, I don't think it's going to, though. Maybe you guys can hop on next week and we'll get the word out again.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Dave, Chris, what the heck? Val, thank you for your hard work. Lighthouse!
Lighthouse!
Right on. Always got to shout out the boys at Lighthouse. They're all watching the show. 7:12. Hey, sir, just a quick break, and then we're coming back with Sean Gumatato.